Hey, what's going on? Happy weekend, happy Friday. Ladies, what's good with y'all? Let me just jump right into the topic at hand. So one thing about it, we here in Florida, and this heat don't be playing nothing. This heat have people losing their mind though, right? So this right here is like a real tough subject because people like myself, and people who, sometimes you just may pop off quick because you're just a no nonsense type person, right? And in today's climate, what I'm getting at is that you really don't have the luxury of being the type of person who has a quick temper or who is quick to, react or respond to something. And sometimes that's a good thing that you don't react quickly to some things, but then sometimes there's a need to respond swiftly. But if you're the type of person that you just have a bad temper and you just non-tolerant, listen, today's climate is just not accepting of that because people like, for lack of a better term, people just, I don't want to say they're crazy, but they have craziness to them. Like they're operating, out of things that just don't make sense. They operating out of things that, they're willing to sink the whole ship. They're willing to ruin their life just to get to you, and that's when it get crazy. When you're willing to sink your ship to damage me, not only do you not care about me, but you don't even care about yourself. So I said all that just to chime in on the situation in Ocala with the young lady who she went to confront her neighbor in regards to the things her neighbor had did and said to her children. Any mom would do that. Any auntie would do it. Anybody who cares about kids that they're supervising would have went over there to get back whatever was left and to have a conversation with the adult. However, in today's climate, you can't even do that because it's clear that it was a setup. The lady, she was talking too much doing her she was talking too much. When they said you had a right to remain silent, she should have shut up. Because here it is, she said that she bought that gun a year ago after they got into an altercation. So that tells me that you were prepared to use deadly force against this lady. Not only was you prepared, you wanted to. You were just waiting for the right opportunity to do it. So that's pretty much to me like a setup, because that no matter what you do or say to these kids, if their mama should come, you ready for them. And it's almost like you triggered her because mom is coming. Mama Bell coming. She knew that would happen, that lady would come to her door at some point and she was ready, and to shoot through the door. It's unfortunate that those kids lost their mom, but I said that to go back and say, like, again, in today's time, in today's climate, we don't have the opportunity, we don't have the luxury to address certain things in certain ways. Even when they piss us off, even when they involve our loved ones, even when they involve ourselves, and I'm in the middle of a situation right now, so I could tell you, like, you do not have the luxury to do and to operate in the same way that you may have done so years ago, especially when you're non-tolerant, when you feel like, hey, I don't bother anybody, so I'm not going to stand for someone, bothering me or physically harming me. It's like you almost have to really just sit back and say, like, hey, what is it gonna be worth it, what I'm gonna go through? It almost seems like in today's time you almost have to let some things slide, because in one way, shape, or form, you're going to have to pay the piper for it, whether it's with your life, whether it's having to get attorneys and pay fees to save your situation. If you feel like you were in the right, you still gonna have to pay. One way or another, you're gonna have to pay. So it pretty much behooves us at this point in life and at this stage when people are so unstable in their mentality, in their thinking, in their behaviors. It behooves us to think not once but twice before we give a reaction. I've heard that there's a difference between response and reaction. Response, you kind of sit it out. Reaction, you have like a physical, there's a physical component to the reaction, but not necessarily with the response. So you can have a response. Maybe the response in that situation would have been calling the police, but she had a reaction instead, where she physically went over there. So I don't know, but either way, rest in peace to the young lady AJ. And just for us, for us that's out here, and every which way you look, you can face an altercation. You could be in your car and flick somebody off, or they do something to you. Everywhere you are, everywhere you go, there's opportunity for some type of negative interaction with people. You could be at home and online, and here you and somebody go arguing online. So now, of course, when you and this person see each other, like they say, on site or whatever, so it's so many opportunities to get into negative situations. It's so many opportunities, to really and truly throw your life away, and not that that's always your intention, but sometimes you're just trying to stand up for yourself and to not let a person feel like they're going to get off on you or that they can handle you any kind of way. But like I said, in these days and time, you really have to think once, twice, and three times about how you respond to that situation, because it is going to cost you, chances are, or it has potential to cost you in one way or another. And with everything being so high, the last thing you need is to add in additional fees and the additional bills to what you already have going on. And even the young lady, the white lady, 58 years old, ain't no way in the world she thought it through at that time. Now, I do feel like she had already previously told herself that should anything happen, she's going to pop off. But in that moment, ain't no way in the world she thought it through, because guess what? Who wants to spend their life in jail at 58? You want to go to jail at 58? Like it just don't make no sense that you would want to live out the rest of your years or any of your latter years in prison, in jail, going through this. So it's unfortunate that she made such a bad decision, but she made that decision to do that before that time. She was already dead set in her mind that she was going to do that. So there you go. Now you have it. Now perhaps she thought that she was going to be able to stand your ground, or the castle doctrine, or whatever she's hoping, will come and save her. And it don't mean that it won't, because y'all know how things go in Florida. But in the event that it don't save her, ain't nowhere in the world it was a good idea for you to do that. That lady had not put your life in any type of danger where it would have caused, where it would be worth you spending any amount of time at the age of 58 in prison. So, and she did it at an old age, but, some of us, we popping off, at younger ages, and even the young dudes who y'all just doing crazy and silly stuff, it's like, that's worth your young life, man. Your youth, listen, your youth, boy, that's a good time. Ain't nowhere in the world I would have wanted to do something. When I look back now, I am so glad that I didn't do anything that would have caused me to have, went to prison and gave, a significant amount of time. Like, man, every day as a youth, I enjoyed that, and so it's nothing that would have been worth me missing the opportunities that I had, especially in my youth, because like I say, I thoroughly enjoyed my youth. And these guys throwing away their life, 17, 18, 19, 22, it's so much you're going to miss, but you'll never know it, because it's going to be missed, So like I said, in today's climate, we just have to think once, twice, three times, and before we make decisions that will, impact the rest of our life, and before we make decisions that will impact someone else's life. When you talk about taking a life, like, you really want to be sure that that's what you want to do. And it's very few things that really is worth you actually taking that person's life. It's very few things. Yes, we have the right to bear arms. I have a firearm. Will I use it? Absolutely. But it will have to be an absolute for me to do that, because when I think about it, it's like, it's no way in the world I want to give my time to prison. Life is but so long, and it's too many other things out here that I could be doing. I have too many goals and dreams to let a person treat me off these streets like that. It just don't make sense. Like, I cannot allow my temper and my temperament to make me make decisions that's going to ruin my life. And that's that. And that goes for everybody else. We cannot allow our temperament, our pride, our ego, we cannot allow those things to trick us off these streets and to let somebody else, get the up on us. Well, we ruin our life because of that person. Like, I'm at the stage now where it's like, sis, you can't piss me off enough to make me go, do too many things. You would have to physically be doing something to me. You would have to physically be in my presence. But all that talking, listen, you got it. You right. Whatever you say, you got it, because there's nowhere in the world I have, spent my time at these people colleges. There's no way that I done spent my time on these people jobs. There's no way that I have, invested all the time and energy into trying to make a good life for myself, that it would be worth me letting you, for any reason, whether it's for, ego's sake, embarrassment's sake, definitely not about a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just no way I'm going to let you get off on me like that. And I say that now after some things that I went through, because had you caught me last year this time, I might have a different perspective. But after going through some things, after watching, people's life unfold in different ways, and watching a lot of people take unnecessary losses, I'm paying attention. And it's just no way that I want that person to be me. So I just encourage you that when you're, you out and about, you living your life, you running into this, running into that, like, think once, twice, three times before you make any type of decision that has the potential to ruin your life, has the potential to impact your life in a negative way, because at the end of the day, it's just not worth it.